This video is a quick overview of all the new tool features that are available in IRSA Tools in 2023. There are other videos that are specific introductions to specific tools, but this is just an overview of the newest features. As a reminder, from the main IRSA homepage, you can always go to past news and get a list chronologically of all the new features. So in IRSA Viewer, one of the newest features is that you can make use of the binoculars here in the table, or when you've selected a region in the image, the binoculars also appear. From the binoculars, you can initiate a tab search using the entire table, but you can also initiate a search from the individual row. You can initiate a tab search, you can search Ned, or you can search Sinbad. When it says search Sinbad, it will drop the Sinbad search results into a tab, but you can also launch Sinbad in a new tab, separate tab, so that you can go and use the usual Sinbad interface to find out more information about a source that you've identified using IRSA Tools. You can also launch a FITS search or a HIP search based on the position of that source in that row. You can do the same kind of thing from the image, but you can also initiate searches using other IRSA tools, such as a Sophia search or a WISE search. You can also do more complicated searches rather than just a cone search. You can initiate a polygon search. You can also, when you're plotting spectra, you have now a different interface. When you have a spectrum plotted, if you go to the gears, you can see that it's got different choices. When you have a regular plot, say over here, you have a lot of flexibility in what you can plot. But when you have a spectrum now, IRSA Viewer recognizes that it's a spectrum, and it gives you a preset list of wavelengths so that it understands what units it is, and you can change the units to a set of preset units, and it will do the conversion for you. Similarly, for the flux axis, it limits your choices, but it will do that unit conversion for you. So when the tool understands that it's working with spectra, you have different choices, and more powerful capabilities are coming soon. Also within IRSA Viewer, you have more powerful column choices. So you've always had the ability to plot manipulated columns. For example, you can make a color plot where you manipulate the columns. Now you have that ability to add those columns. So you can add the columns. You can say that this is going to be WISE1 minus WISE2 and do WISE1 MPro minus WISE2 MPro and add that as a column. But now you can also do some more sophisticated things. Like I've done this, and now the significant figures are clearly wrong. But I can do W2 MW3, and then W2 MPro minus W3 MPro. But then I can explicitly tell it, look, I don't believe anything past 3 decimal places, and then add it. And it will give me a reasonable number of significant figures. But moreover, look, I've already imposed some filters on this, where I've already asked it for the high signal to noise sources. So I can add a predefined column where I can say, I make this column called the high signal to noise sources, use a preset function, set filtered rows to true and the rest to false. So I can add a new column that does that. Now, even if I cancel those filters, that column persists. So if I have some complicated function of filters that I've imposed, I can then make this column so that I can easily then recover those complicated filters with minimum number of clicks. And I can just always, whenever I've got this column set, I can easily recover the complicated filters that I've set. Moreover, now you see how these column headers are in red? When I go to save this, I can ask it to save the table as displayed or save the table as originally retrieved. So if I save the table as displayed, the next time I load this table into this tool, those columns will still be red. It preserves that knowledge that those are added columns. And so it preserves the information that I've added columns, that I've added manipulated columns. Now you might also see that we've got pinned images here and a coverage image. This coverage image is meant to be sort of a context setting image. It's showing you where on the sky all of your work is. Pinned images are things that you've saved. You can also pin charts. Like this is a chart that I've saved because I want to. And then this gives me more details about the row that I've got here. So I've got a lot of things going on. I can add additional tables down here as well. Look, I've got some additional layout choices. For some purposes, I may want the coverage map over here on the right so that I can look at where I've got images, because it'll put a polygon to show me where the images are that I've got, and it'll overlay the catalogs. So maybe I want the coverage there, or maybe I'm okay leaving the coverage hidden on the left. But depending on my purposes, maybe I want to highlight just the charts and the images, temporarily hiding the catalogs, or maybe I want to temporarily hide the images because I want to focus on working with the tables and the charts. So I have now more flexibility in the layout of the different panes here that I'm working with. Another new capability is more data actually within the IRTF search. There's now Texas data, and we're adding reprocessed Texas data frequently. So there's not the complete Texas archive available yet, but when you choose to include Texas data, if there are Texas data available, you'll get an IRTF tab and then also a Texas tab in your search results. Also, a new tool is the Data Collection Explorer, or DCE. For the data that are available within DCE, when you go to the individual data delivery page, you'll see DCE as a choice that you can click on to get access to those data. So if I click on that, it launches the DCE tool, which actually technically is a subset of the IRSA Viewer tool, and it loads in this HIPS image with this multi-order coverage map showing me where on the sky the glimpse data are available. So then I can click to search, or I can type in a position and then search, and it shows me what data it can find for that position on the sky. So now this is all the data products that it found for the region that I clicked, which is here, and all those polygons are the footprints of all the images that it found. If you want to download the data, you can select it and prepare download. And then the last of the big tool updates for 2023 was the Spitzer Heritage Archive. The Spitzer Heritage Archive was the first archive that we had that used something called Firefly, which is the software that's running under the hood that has this look and feel. But it was also the most recent tool that we finally updated to use, the very most recent version of Firefly. So it kind of does now look a lot like it did before, but it also looks a lot like the other tools because finally it's using the most recent version of Firefly. So now it has all the same capabilities as some of these other recent tools, where you can do the same kind of tab searches with the catalogs tab and do the same kind of data visualization capabilities that Firefly has with the other tools. Please come by the AAS IPAC booth and ask us questions. We'll love to talk to you.